Welcome to a video that's designed to shift your perspective on the world and how the world perceives you. A lot of people go through life without truly seeing what's around them. They walk into rooms and miss key details. They talk to people and fail to detect lies. They laugh, nod, and agree, but deep down, they're clueless about what's really happening. It's not that they lack intelligence. They're simply unaware of the nuances of human behavior. But you're different. You're here to unlock a powerful ability, the silent, invisible, unstoppable power of observation. This skill is what distinguishes the weak from the wise. It's what allows you to understand people without uttering a word. It's what makes you unpredictable, unforgettable, and unbreakable. You won't find it in schools or textbooks, but it's a skill used by spies, leaders, CEOs, psychologists, and masters of human behavior. And today, it's going to be yours. The best part is that every moment you spend watching this video will also enhance your English skills, your listening, comprehension, and sentence flow. So stick with me until the end, and I promise you'll never see people the same way again. Let me ask you something. What do the best poker players, detectives, FBI interrogators, top negotiators, and world-class entrepreneurs all have in common? They don't jump to conclusions. They observe first. They walk into a room and instantly know who's nervous. They shake your hand and can tell if you're being dishonest. They hear a single sentence and grasp your entire mindset. How do they do it? Because while everyone else is busy talking, they're busy watching. Imagine a man sitting quietly in an airport lounge. Beside him is a young girl, perhaps 6 years old. She's clutching a teddy bear, swinging her legs, and chattering away. "Daddy, do you think the clouds move faster than planes? Daddy, do you think teddy bears get scared when they fly? Daddy, can I tell you a secret?" But the man doesn't respond. He's smiling and nodding, pretending to listen. But if you observe him closely, even for a moment, you'll notice something deeper. His smile fades when she looks away. His fingers twitch nervously on his coffee cup. His leg bounces, not with excitement, but with anxiety. And in his eyes, there's pain. Deep, silent, hidden pain. Most people in a lounge see a heartwarming father-daughter moment. But the observer sees a man preparing to say goodbye. Not a temporary one, but a final one. 2 hours later, you see that man placing a letter in the girl's backpack. He kneels down, hugs her tightly, and whispers, "Be strong for Mom." She doesn't understand yet, but the observer does. He boards a flight alone. What's the lesson here? Observation reveals truths that words can't express. While the world sees smiles, you see signals. While others hear noise, you hear stories. That's the power we're about to unlock in this video. The power to see what most people will never see. An observant person recognizes a fake smile hidden behind a compliment, detects fear lurking beneath confidence, identifies insecurity masked by arrogance, and senses pain concealed by silence. They see people as they truly are, not just the personas they present. They perceive truth, not just words. While the world reacts emotionally, the observer acts with wisdom. And here's the secret. When you observe more, you talk less. When you talk less, you reveal less. When you reveal less, people fear you, respect you, and never underestimate you again because you've become something different. Not a follower, not just a listener, but a watcher, a reader of human nature, a student of reality. This video isn't just about observation. It's about awakening your inner genius. It's about making you smarter, calmer, more powerful, and more respected in every room, every relationship, and every opportunity. It will help you understand your friends better, know who to trust, avoid manipulation, ace interviews, negotiations, and conversations, and develop emotional intelligence. The most important skill for success in the world. Skill number 1. Watch the eyes, not the mouth. Most people are easily fooled by words. They believe what someone says, even if those words are insincere. But a keen observer knows that words can be deceptive, while eyes rarely lie. A person's face can display a smile, and their voice can project confidence, but their eyes will always reveal the truth. In any conversation, the eyes will reveal whether someone is genuinely happy or just pretending, whether they're confident or nervous, and whether they're concealing guilt, sadness, jealousy, fear, or love. Imagine two people. A man has just betrayed his best friend. He lied, and that lie caused real pain. Now, he stands before his friend and says, "I'm sorry, man. It was a mistake. It won't happen again." His voice sounds gentle. His words seem sincere. His body language is calm. He even offers a slight smile. But if you watch his eyes carefully, you'll notice something odd. He avoids direct eye contact, his eyes darting back and forth as if he's already plotting his next lie. He blinks excessively, a clear sign of anxiety. His pupils are constricted, indicating fear, not regret. That's the truth. His mouth said, "I'm sorry," but his eyes revealed, "I'm scared of losing you, not because I'm truly remorseful, but because I don't want to face the consequences." A girl is sitting in a coffee shop, scrolling through her phone. Suddenly, a boy walks in, the one she secretly has a crush on. She doesn't say a word, keeping her gaze fixed on her phone. But if you observe her eyes, you'll notice them quickly glance up when he's not looking. Her pupils dilate, her blink rate slows down, and the corners of her eyes soften, as if her entire face is smiling from within. That's more than just interest. It's attraction without any verbal confession. She didn't say a thing, but her eyes told you everything. How can you practice this? Stop focusing solely on the mouth. Start paying attention to the eyes. Look for these signals. Pupil size. Large pupils indicate interest or strong emotion, while small pupils suggest fear or tension. Eye contact. Strong eye contact signifies confidence, while weak eye contact suggests nervousness or dishonesty. Blink rate. A fast blink rate indicates stress, while a slow blink rate suggests calmness or intense focus. Micro movements. Looking up and to the side when answering often indicates thinking, concealing, or planning. Don't react immediately, just observe. Let people reveal themselves through their eyes. The eyes are controlled by the subconscious brain, not the conscious mind. This means people can't easily fake what their eyes reveal. You can fake a laugh, a smile, or a compliment, but you can't fake the truth in your eyes. When you master this skill, you'll know what people truly feel, even when they don't say a word. That's why this is skill number 1. Skill number 2, watch the feet, the most honest part of the body. Here's a fact that most people don't realize. When it comes to body language, the most truthful part isn't the face, it's the feet. Why? Because most people consciously try to control their facial expressions. They smile even when they're angry and appear calm, even when they're scared. However, they often forget to control their feet. And the feet always tell the truth. A man walks into a job interview. He's smiling, sitting up straight, and talking about his accomplishments. Everything seems perfect until you look at his feet. His feet aren't flat on the floor. They're shaking slightly. One heel is lifted off the ground, and his toes are pointed toward the door. This indicates that his body wants to escape, not stay. A skilled observer isn't looking for dramatic displays. They're looking for the slight twitch, the quick scratch, the sudden head turn, the millisecond of hesitation. That's where true emotion resides. Guilt often manifests as a neck touch, stress as a lip bite, anxiety as a shoulder twitch, and a lie as a sudden cough or throat clear. Most people won't even register these movements, but you will. After learning this skill, imagine a teacher asking the class, "Who took the answer key from my drawer last Friday?" The room falls silent. One student, Liam, sits calmly. His voice is confident, and his posture is straight. He raises his hand and says, "Sir, I wasn't even here on Friday. I went home early. I don't know anything about it." Sounds convincing, right? But you're observing, and you notice that as soon as the teacher asked the question, Liam scratched the side of his nose. Not a normal itch, but a quick, nervous scratch that often occurs when someone is uncomfortable. Then, as he spoke, he looked slightly up and to the left, a direction people often look when they're constructing a story, not recalling one. And just as he finished his sentence, he quickly touched the back of his neck, a common self-soothing signal that the body uses when it's under pressure or feeling threatened. Most of the class believed him, but the observer knows that this boy isn't as confident as he appears. He's hiding something. It wasn't his words or his tone that gave him away. It was those subtle micro-movements, the ones that spoke louder than his entire sentence. How can you practice this? The next time you're talking to someone, focus on their small movements. Fidgeting fingers, hands touching their face, raised eyebrows, lip biting, sudden head tilts, or clearing their throat right before answering. Watch what happens right before or after someone speaks. The moment before they speak often reveals their true emotion: nervousness, doubt, or guilt. There are many subtle timing cues that skilled observers notice. Hesitation before answering indicates uncertainty or deception. Answering too quickly indicates a prepared lie or fake confidence. Rapid speech indicates nervousness or an attempt to dominate the conversation. A sudden pause indicates emotional discomfort or fear, and over-explaining after a delay suggests an attempt to appear innocent. Timing reveals what's behind the curtain. You can't see it directly, but you feel in the beats between the words. A woman asks her boyfriend a question. "Where were you last night after 9 p.m.m.?" Now watch closely. He smiles immediately and says, "After 9? Oh yeah, I was just at Ryan's place playing PlayStation. Nothing big." Sounds normal, right? Not to a skilled observer. Here's what's wrong with the timing. He answered too quickly, without pausing to think or search his memory. He didn't ask for clarification, such as, "Why do you ask?" or "What do you mean?" which genuine, innocent people often do. He used the words "just" and "nothing big," common softeners intended to make things sound harmless. And most importantly, he smiled too quickly, even before answering, which often indicates that he had already prepared the response in his head. The problem isn't the words themselves, it's the speed, the rhythm, and the smoothness. Real memories take time to retrieve, but lies are often delivered quickly and polished. In conversations, pay attention to the gap between the question and the answer. Is it too fast or too slow? Does it feel too perfect? Notice if they repeat your question back before answering, such as, "What do you mean?" or "after 9 p.m.m." This often indicates genuine processing, not deception. Listen for overly rehearsed timing. When someone sounds like they're reading from a script, their answers feel too smooth or robotic, whereas real answers flow more naturally. Pay attention to when people change their speed. Do they speed up when changing topics? Do they slow down during emotional questions? Let people talk. Don't interrupt. You'll learn more from when they speak than from what they say. Timing is controlled by the emotional brain, not the logical brain. When people are relaxed, their answers come naturally. When they're stressed, their rhythm changes. They speed up, pause, overthink, or try too hard. Timing is invisible honesty. And once you learn to recognize it, you can detect nervousness, insecurity, guilt, fear, and fake confidence without needing any proof. Words are just the surface, but timing is a map to the truth. Learn to observe not just what people say, but when and how they say it, and you'll unlock a superpower that most people never even realize exists. Skill number 6, observe repeating patterns. Behavior is a loop. This is one of the most valuable skills in human observation because people don't behave randomly. They repeat themselves constantly in cycles, habits, and tiny patterns. Most people don't fundamentally change their behavior. They repeat it daily, weekly, and monthly. Once you learn to identify someone's behavioral patterns, you'll be able to predict their next move, understand their true personality, identify their emotional weaknesses, and even foresee their future. Here's what skilled observers notice. Do they always blame others when things go wrong? Do they always change the subject when things become emotional? Do they always complain but never take action? Do they always laugh when they're nervous? Do they always need to be the smartest person in the room? One or two instances might be insignificant, but 3 or more indicate a pattern. And patterns tell the real story, not words. You have a friend. Let's call him Jason. Jason says, "This year is going to be different. I'm going to fix my life. No more quitting. I'm serious this time." Do you believe him? He joins a gym, starts a new job, and wakes up early. But a few weeks later, he stops replying to messages, quits the gym, and is late for work again. He says, "It's just stress. I'll bounce back." 3 months later, he repeats the cycle again and again. Most people believe Jason every time because he says the right things. But a true observer sees something deeper. Jason doesn't change. He just rotates. He's not genuinely committed to growth. He's just focused on feeling better temporarily. You don't need to argue with him, and you don't need to lecture him. You simply observe. His pattern speaks louder than his promises. Track behavior over time, not just in isolated moments. Observe how people behave when they're stressed, happy, sad, or angry. Look for what they do repeatedly. Listen for repeated phrases they use, such as, "It's not my fault," "Nobody understands me," or "I'm just tired." Watch how they behave with different people. Are they always nice to their bosses, but rude to waiters? Do they always interrupt quiet people, but pretend to respect confident ones? Keep a mental note, not to judge, but to understand. This person always plays the victim. This person always tries to win. Or this person always runs when things get hard. Don't focus on one negative incident. Look for the overall loop. Humans aren't random. They're predictable if you observe their patterns. Psychology tells us that past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior. This means that if you want to know what someone will do next, don't listen to their goals. Watch their history, because patterns never lie, even when people do. People might say, "I'll change," but a skilled observer watches and asks, "Have you changed before, or are you just repeating the same pattern?" If you learn to observe patterns, you won't just see the truth, you'll see the future. Skill number 7. Study their clothing and grooming, the language of identity. You learn the truth without anyone saying a word. Observe people in public. How do they dress when they're relaxed versus when they're working? Do they follow trends or wear the same clothes often? Do their shoes match their outfit, or do they look neglected? In conversations, watch if someone constantly adjusts their outfit. It might indicate nervousness. Do they overdress in casual situations, try to prove something, or underdress in formal settings, perhaps indicating rebelliousness or insecurity? Watch for changes in clothing over time. Someone dressing in darker colors after a heartbreak, or someone switching from baggy clothes to fitted ones might indicate increased body confidence or a shift in identity. Never judge based on fashion taste. This isn't about what looks good, it's about emotional communication. You're not reading style, you're reading self-image. Clothing is one of the few things that people completely control. It's not unconscious, like blinking or scratching. So when they choose it, repeat it, change it, or hide in it, they're showing you a deliberate piece of their inner world. This provides you with clues that no words ever could. Fashion fades, but self-perception is permanent, and it always shows up in what people wear. If you learn to interpret what's on the body, you'll learn what's hidden in the heart. Skill number 8. Listen for repeated words and phrases, the echoes of the mind. People don't just speak from their mouth. They speak from their patterns of thought. And nothing reveals someone's mental programming more clearly than the words and phrases they repeat without realizing it. Their favorite sentences, their emotional escape words, their vocabulary of excuses, their mental barriers, their hidden fears, and their unmet needs. A skilled observer listens for the echoes, the parts of the mind that leak into speech again and again. Repetition isn't random. It's a mirror, and it always reveals the truth. You'll observe people who seem kind, generous, and friendly, but the second they interact with a waiter, a janitor, a receptionist, a security guard, or a driver, their whole demeanor changes. Their tone becomes sharp, their words become rude, and they stop seeing the person in front of them as a human being. That's when you realize they were never truly kind. They were just performing kindness for the benefit of those in power. This skill will reveal the hidden cruelty in people, and once you see it, you can't ignore it. When someone interacts with a person of lower status, do they smile the same way? Do they listen attentively, or do they interrupt? Do they say, "Thank you," or do they act entitled? Do they use the person's name, or do they ignore them as if they're just background noise? Do they try to establish dominance, or do they try to build a connection? The answer tells you who they really are. Imagine you're standing in the lobby of a fancy hotel. There's a businessman talking to the manager, smiling, laughing, using charming words. He seems confident, polished, and respectful. Then a janitor walks by with a mop bucket. The water splashes accidentally just a little bit near the businessman's shoes. The businessman takes a step back and snaps. Can't you see where you're going? Stupid. He doesn't yell, he doesn't curse, but his tone completely changes. His eyes become cold, and his smile disappears. He looks at the janitor as if he's a problem, not a person. The janitor apologizes quietly, and the businessman doesn't even acknowledge him. Now you, as the observer, have just witnessed something that most people missed. That man's charm is reserved only for those in power. To the powerless, he shows his true colors. Watch how people behave with waiters, drivers, cleaners, receptionists, and staff at airports, hotels, or hospitals. Anyone who is below them in status, money, or power. Imagine you're standing in front of a mirror, but the mirror is cracked and shaking. No matter how clear the room is behind you, the mirror shows a distorted, broken image. That's what happens when your mind is full of anger, ego, judgment, anxiety, and drama. You're not seeing people as they are. You're seeing them through the broken lens of your own emotions. To observe clearly, you must first fix the mirror, and that mirror is your mind. In every conversation, remind yourself, I am here to see, not to react. Pause before responding. Even 2 seconds of silence will give you more power than 1,000 rushed words. Breathe slowly during interactions. Calm breath equals calm brain equals clear observation. Remove your personal filter. Don't observe based on your current mood or past trauma. Observe based on the other person's actual signals, not your own imagination. Say less. Watch more. The quieter you become, the more the world reveals to you. Observation isn't just an external skill, it's an internal discipline. You can't control other people, but you can control your attention. And that attention, when calm and pure, becomes your greatest weapon. The most effective observers aren't the loudest, they're the calmest. They don't chase attention, and they don't jump to react. They simply watch silently, wisely, and patiently. And that's why they always see the truth long before anyone else does. That's skill number 10. So, now you know the truth. Most people go through life blind, not because they can't physically see, but because they never learned how to observe effectively. But you're different now. You've learned to read eyes, to hear the silence, to recognize patterns, and to sense the truth hidden in smiles, timing, and habits, to understand people without them saying a single word. You're no longer just a listener, and you're no longer just a talker.